I just wanted to say thank you, Jackie, for having me. And you did a great place with the former Ozone record store. I think it was, when was it? Last week we were here. It was 70% off, and I had a Pear Ubu CD. So I hit it. I think it was in the Michael Jackson section. Nobody was buying the CDs about a year or so ago. So I hit it over there, and I came back about 2 days later, and it was 80% off. So, hey, it was still there. So anyway, I would like to talk about now and then in terms of parenting and specifically childbirth. My son and my daughter were very planned. Went in there with qualified HMO. Doctor was in there, and the nurses every 10 minutes are, right? Can we get you anything? No, we're good. Wife was as comfortable as can be in that predicament. What can you do? The water breaks. We're in there, and 23 hours later, the doctor comes back in. Well, he's crowning. We can see him there. He was there about 3 hours ago, and he hasn't moved. So why don't we offer you forceps suction or C-section? Oh. My wife was, not really totally coherent at that point. So I thought back to my childbirth, and which I'll go into in just a second. And I said, C-section right away. Don't even think about forceps or suction or any of that. So, no problem. Boy just came out just fine. Same with the daughter. Then, back to my childbirth. My mom was 41. My sisters were 12 and 8 years older than me. And I think by the time they had me, it was one of those pleasant surprises. So I don't know what was going on in that delivery room, but I think the doctor looked at our insurance policy, and it was the S&H HMO. And I think they used up all of the green stamps on my two older sisters. And they weren't planning on saving any stamps and putting them in the books anymore. So they looked at our policy and they said, well, let's see, according to you have 2 books left. You get the tong that the nurse can hand you from the ice box over there. So, 9.5 pounds and pulling with the tongs, and there I am. I'm born. I have a big egg on my head, a broken collarbone, and and then 5 lenses later from different camera people, and lady, here's $5, just leave us alone. We don't want to take a picture of that thing. So they bring me home, and I think my sisters wanted to, show off the little baby boy, little baby brother, I get through the door, and they immediately draw the blinds and, start changing their whole plan about that. Once they see me, they started charging, I think, friends $1 admission for the little freak show. Crank up the old shade there. Okay, $1 for 30 seconds. Ah! Get away! That's your brother? God, what a freak. So anyway, it's a little then and now in terms of childbirth. The other topic I wanted to say was child monitoring or baby monitoring. I think Andy Warhol should have patented when he made that great mockumentary Sleep, because he had something there of just filming a sleeping baby, or in his case, a grown-up. It's got closed-circuit television right on the crib. Honey, what's the baby doing? Is his roll over? Oh, it's so nice. He just burped. Oh, it's so nice. It's so wonderful. Then, we were all known in my family as, I was the artist, my sister was the thrower, and I think the middle sister was the eater. If that gives you any indication of, the monitoring that was going on there. Because supposedly the folks were out doing whatever they were doing, drinking, I guess. And they come in, and we have those safety pins on the old cloth diapers. Somehow we got those off, digging in there. throwing it around the room and doing nice, pictures with it. And what were they thinking? They were just out to lunch by the third kid, I guess. I don't know. But it's a little then and now there. Another great thing I like about fatherhood is hearing the phrase, "I need a wipe." I need a wipe. My girl. When do you cut it off, too? You don't want to, let him go out there and the boy just sits there. And he's either got this going on when he's talking to you. "Son, you have to go to the bathroom?" "Well, just, And then he's sometimes sitting there itching the crack, and no, you just wiped it a half hour earlier. There's nothing there. And so, for instance, we were at and this was my daughter's party. And so as a princess party, I took my boy, we didn't want to go to the party, so I took him out for an ice cream. Came back, and about an hour and a half later, when the party was supposed to be over, we go in the house, and it's a nice house in Eastmoreland, and just to pick up my daughter. And a half hour later, cake and ice cream, we're talking to the folks and whatnot. My son says, "Dad, where's the bathroom?" "It's over there, son. You got to do number 1 or 2? Number 1. "Okay, send him over there." About 10 minutes later, I'm going, "Where is he?" And then I get a little rap on the door. "Dad, can you come in here?" And this bathroom is probably about 3 by 8 feet. The door opens, and just that mass, that wall of stank hits you. There's this tiny little window, and they're basically out of toilet paper too. So, we were just going there to pick up my daughter, and now we've stunk up the whole bathroom. There's no fan in the bathroom either. And so this presents a little problem. So I run out there, get some paper towels, wet it down, whatnot. Take care of business. So it's another thing. And then, let's see. I think I forgot the rest of my act, so. No, I gotta have one more thing. Okay. Let's see. What comes after the stank, exactly. And then getting back to my childbirth, Quasimodo's red-haired stepchild. And then a few days later, I cut my penis. What is that? Jesus. So if I'm ever reborn, I expect a new foreskin too.